Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Wakfu Season 3, Episode 9. I have been reading your commentaries. Obviously, I didn't have time to answer them. Probably I'm gonna do it after finishing the recording of this episode of this video. But yeah, it kind of worries me what you are saying that the fun is over. So my guess the drama is going to be up. The tensions are going to be increasing. Now we're really gonna see the true nature of these demigods, because so far all of them want to convince them that they are in the correct way. All of them are kind of old enemies. Vlad was the most cruel in this case, the cruelest, because yeah, he didn't care about that. But in the end, you kind of see Goltar behind everything. In the end, you saw Goltar in the end. So yeah, it kind of worries me what you are warning me about. That yeah, the fun is over, and I guess now the story is really taking up a notch. So yeah, it's something that I am kind of scared to see, but anxious to see at the same time. So yeah, I don't know what is going to happen in the next few episodes, because yeah, again, we don't have many episodes left. I think counting this one is just like 5 episodes in the third season. So yeah, I don't know what to expect in such a short amount of time, but I want to see what is going to happen. Other than that, I love the fact that the episode can change in the middle and in the end in this case. Because, yeah, in the seventh episode, the beginning was silly and the end was dramatic, especially with Hugo and Amalia. In this one, the first half was kind of nostalgic, was heartwarming, and even the end, or almost the end, was again kind of nostalgic, and you feel love and you feel a lot of stuff, especially with Ruel and his wife. But in the end, it was the twist that everything was planned, and actually what is going to happen with our heroes. Yeah, it is fascinating how these writers managed to do all this crazy stuff that they are been pushing toward us in these episodes, in this third season. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm blabbling. I think I'm speaking way too much. So yeah, let's just cut all of this because I'm so anxious to see what is going to happen in the next one. And yeah, watch the next episode, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched a second time the ninth episode of the series of the third season. And yeah, now I understand why you told me that the games are over. It is still pretty hard to see that last scene of this episode. It is still pretty hard to see how much damage in the end Evangeline took. Yeah, it is still pretty hard because again, Evangeline was or still is one of my favorite characters. And yes, I have a lot of favorite characters in this series. I mean, come on, how can you not? A lot of people, a lot of characters in this series are lovable, are great, are well written. So yeah, it's pretty hard not to have a favorite. But anyway, let's go in order. We start with a little scene with the Elia Cube, Oropo, and Adamite, and of course Lady Echo in there, alongside with Toxin, which of course I don't think she is supposed to be there, but anyway. And my guess is what I saw, the circle in the sky, the circle in the space, floating above everything else, is the entry for the god dimension, for the dimension in which all the gods reside. So yeah, that is my guess, that is what it is. And that is going to be used to, well, attack the gods. Again, this is something that still caused me trouble for me. Because as I said in previous videos, as I said, even I think it was during the first season, when we saw the monkey god, for me it's hard to see a mortal challenge a god. Yes, I understand that in the world of Wakfu, the demigods and a lot of creatures that inhabit this region are extremely powerful, especially the old ones. The older you are, the stronger you are in this series. But it's still, I cannot understand how demigods, even if they are immortal, even if they have powers, can defeat the gods without being true gods. For me, it's still a very weird concept because, yeah, once you explain to me that yes, there are gods within the universe, like I said, the monkey god or something along those lines. Uh, I understand those gods. I interpret them as minor gods, as yeah, deities which are immortal, which can do a lot of stuff that a mortal cannot even dream about doing, but is still a minor god with not the power of a real god or a lot more power than a mortal. Yeah, he is pretty strong and he is a lot stronger than any mortal, but still is not as powerful, let's say, as an ancient god or as a major god. And we're speaking about in this episode and the entirety of the third season about defeating the major gods of this world. Yes, according to what Lady Echo said within this first scene, the Yob god is the strongest one. For obvious reason, because yeah, he is the god of fighting, the god of battle, and all of that. It's understandable. But still, for me, it's something I cannot comprehend. It's how the hell did you beat a god without being a god yourself, without having an aid of another god or something along those lines? That's how I interpret this stuff. Perhaps it's more like God of War, in which they have a MacGuffin. In this case, the original Eliacubes, Dofus, Eliatroop Dofus, and of course the Eliacube, which is a very powerful instrument. But still, I cannot conceive the idea of a mortal defeating a god without the help of another god or without them become gods. It's still a weird concept for me. I don't know if we're going to develop more. I don't know if we are going to see the original gods, the major gods, and we're going to see a battle. I don't know. I am not certain of anything so far. But yeah, once you start to think about it, once you start to see beyond that preconception that I have, because yes, that is a preconception for me, perhaps the Elia Cube was something that was out of the world, because technically it was made by gods. Again, this is a weird transition if you haven't seen my previous videos, but technically the original Eliatropes are, well, gods, because they are the sons and daughters of two gods. It's not just a mortal and a god, no. They are the sons and daughters of two gods, so technically they are gods. They are immortal gods, they are not as powerful, let's say as powerful as their, well, as their parents, let's say, but yeah, they are technically gods once you start to think about it. So an advantage here for the dragons, in this case Adamai, and again, I'm not sure of this is a theory that I came up with in previous videos, but perhaps to Oropo, perhaps he's one of the original Eliatropes hiding behind a mask, and I don't know why he doesn't have his companion, perhaps because yeah, he died before, or I don't know. Again, I still hold my theory that Oropo is actually another Eliatrope. I don't know if one of the original ones or another one. I'm still not certain of anything in this case, but yeah, that's what I think this is the case. So yeah, we have two gods, perhaps, or one or two gods, I'm not sure of one of them, that are going against other gods, and of course they have certain advantages, because this artifact, the Elia Cube, is, well, technically, again, a tool of the gods, a weapon of the gods. So yeah, it is a weird concept that we're dealing with in here. So perhaps that's why the two strongest ones, Adamai and Oropo, are, well, that powerful, because they are technically gods. Again, I think I'm repeating this idea way too much, but that is how my brain is starting to interpret everything that is surrounding this concept of mortals defeating gods. So yeah, that's perhaps why I'm still trying to process that part. Anyway, that scene ends up with Toxin and Lady Echo forming an alliance. And again, I'm using quotations because it's later on revealed that it wasn't a very good alliance, let's say. But yes, of course they have reservations to face gods. Because come on, they are gods. You're facing major gods. Even if you believe that, oh yes, I have the six Eliotropdophus. Still, come on, they are gods. Yes, otherwise he's kind of reflecting my own ideas within himself. Yes, I have this power, but I don't think it's enough to defeat a god. So, yeah, that's why perhaps this episode is brought back that idea that I had in the back of my mind, because it was actually expressed by, not by me, but in this case by Adamite. So yeah, it is a weird concept. Anyway, yeah, they reveal that actually Floppin and Evangeline escape the prison. Well, the prison again. One of the temple of them, in this case Lady Echo's temple, and they go after them. They believe they are in the Kra temple, but actually it wasn't the reality that. But of course, we don't know that yet. It was a suspicion, because yeah, the weapons that were there that weren't supposed to be there, but were there. Anyway, I'm going to speak about the next scene in a little bit of a hurry, because I want to reach the scene that I really want to speak about. They arrive at the true Sadida temple. I thought the other temple in which Floppin and Evangeline were was the Sadida temple. That's what it reminded me the most. Actually, I was wrong. That was the Kra temple. This was the Sadida temple, which was beautiful. It was so gorgeous to see, but Amalia could not detect life in this place. Why? I don't know. Perhaps because it was created by a doll, by an artificial being, or one of the dolls of the Sadida god. I am not sure of that. Perhaps that's the reason. But of course, we saw more conflict between Hugo and Amalia. And again, it's kind of reasonable why they have this conflict, for the things that Hugo said back then. So yeah, I understand why Amalia has her heart broken, because she believes, or she's certain, that she loves Hugo with all her heart. Yeah, she can be a little bit bratty. Yeah, she can be a princess. Yeah, let's make this short. A princess, but she knows that she loves Hugo, and she's willing to do a lot of stuff for Hugo. And hearing that the other person, in this case Hugo, doesn't know if he loves her or not, that is harsh, man. When she believed that he really has this feeling, the feelings were kind of equal for both of them. Both of them love each other, but for different circumstances they could not express said feelings. As I said in previous videos, perhaps Amalia believed that yes, Hugo doesn't want to be together with her because he believes that he's still a child and is going to be a child for a long time, because yes, he has a very, very, very long life ahead of him. But still, she believes, oh, he loves me and he wants to protect me. I just need to show him that he doesn't need to protect me. That's how I interpret the way that Amalia sees this. Hugo sees other sides of it. That yes, perhaps I'm not going to mature in a very long time, and I'm not going to give Amalia what she deserves, but still I don't know if I love her, because yeah, I have a lot of life ahead of me. So yeah, these doubts of course bring sadness to our little princess, and of course, thanks to the words of the fake Ruel, this kind of sadness increases, and yeah, the relationship is being ruptured by this chameleon, because yes, we know that he was, or she was, I don't know, a chameleon. Then of course we find several small, what I assume are Sadida dolls that are kind of there, and of course delivering a message for this group, because technically the doll, the old doll Datura of the Sadida god, it cannot move because she is connected to the rest of the tree. So yeah, she cannot move, and the heart is just beating outside. It's kind of poetic, and I love the imagery here. It looks very, very neat, the imagery that we have with the doll. But before that, of course, we saw that Eleli is, again, showing a lot more intelligence than her dad, because yeah, Lily is kind of suspicious of Ruel in this case because he doesn't get angry when he calls him grandpa. So yeah, she's more perceptive at least, and that's what I think. And speaking, of course, about this family, about this Job family, we saw again Goltar and Pompon. Yes, confirmation that they are alive, both of them. I genuinely thought that Goltar was going to sacrifice himself to save Pompon, but no, it wasn't the case. Both are alive. I don't know how the hell did they survive the falling of the entire tower, or at least half of the tower, but they survive. And they, of course, reach the guy with the panty fetish, the underwear fetish. And instead of fighting, they decide to give the panties. Well, not the panties. That would be weird for Pompon and Golter use panties. The underwear. And I love the reasoning behind Pompon's decision. Because that is what Hugo will have done. Yeah, okay, yeah, sure, have them and we will pass without a fight. Obviously, that is not what happened. And Hugo did not want to give his underpants and not Amalia's underpants. So, yes, a weird case in which technically Pompon did the reasonable stuff and Hugo behaved like a hot-headed person. We're in opposite time in those cases. But anyway, they keep going and they go after, well, what they want to do. What they need to do is cut Flopping, Lily, and of course Evangeline. And the rest of the Brotherhood. But of course, I think my priority for Pompon is his family. We get another scene between Ruel and his wife. And again, Harpagon is showing this obsessive love. This point in which she just lost her marble. She suffered so much in the past because she wanted a happy life with Ruel, with, as she said, with a lot of little troops running around. But she couldn't have that with the love of her life. So instead of just moving on, no, she get obsessed with this love life that she could never had, and she wants to have that life. She knows that she's too old in this case. That yes, she no longer can have children by this moment. Or that's what I assume if we go by human biology. But instead of moving on, no, she wants to be with that and she wants to have that. So therefore, if you become a god, if Ruel becomes a god, she could become young again. And of course, he's going to be a god. He's going to be eternally young. Both are going to be eternally young because, yes, Ruel is going to give her the eternal youth. And they could have children and they could be happy together. Again, an obsession, an obsessive love that we have in here. An example of obsessing love that, yes, it's kind of not maturing, evolving into this obsessive love that, yes, she was so distraught by this loss that, yes, now that she's obsessive. Now, let's go to the scene I want to speak the most about. Toxin and Lady Echo are two different type of person. And it's shown in here. Lady Echo wants to convince Floppin and Evangeline to come peacefully. She wants no harm to these two individuals. Toxin doesn't give a fuck about this. Toxin wants to I don't know, in her own words, she hates everybody. And my guess, she wants to go against everybody and destroy everybody. She doesn't care about the rest of the world. And this is the dangerous part. I don't know if Oropo chose her because, yeah, she is the perfect representation of her race, of the SRAM race. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. She's the perfect example of this race. So she will make a perfect goddess of this race. The problem is that she is so perfect for this role that she ends up betraying mid-speech Lady Echo. Because that is what she wanted. She hated Lady Echo because she looked from above. She was alongside with Oropo. I don't know if there is a hint of jealousy there, or it's just that she really just hates everybody. But yeah, she wants to deal with Lady Echo from the beginning, and it was obvious. It was obvious. She dealt with Lady Echo thanks to this betrayal, and she starts to deal with Floppin and Evangeline. She tries to attack them, which is pretty weird for this case, because yeah, we know that Evangeline is a great fighter. We know that she is an amazing fighter, but the problem is that she's pregnant, and of course this diminishes her ability to fight because she wants to protect their kid, and she doesn't want to damage any of what is inside of her because she wants their kids to be alive. Obviously, Floppin does all the job, but again, none of the attacks really land on Toxin. And there is a good reason behind that, because this is actually not the Kra temple. This is actually Toxin temple, the Sra temple, and that's why the weapons are fake. Those are illusions. And of course this is something, that's why Evangeline means so much, because he actually was hitting, but of course since there were no real weapons, they could not deal any damage towards the enemy. So yeah, it is a very interesting concept of the power of this bitch, because yeah, Toxin is a complete bitch. And I love the ingenuity of Floppy, that he created weapons thanks to the traps that was put by Toxin. So yeah, it is. Floppy is showing a lot of strategical thought. He's a very, very smart boy. Anyway, we're seeing that Toxin is tired of dealing with Lady Echo. She wants to deal with her in the end. She wants to deal with Floppy and Evangeline, but in the end she was going to kill Lady Echo, or that's what I assume. But she screw it, you're ruining my phone, because yeah, she kind of did, which is something I'm fine with. And she's going to throw her to the Well of Shadows, I think it was the correct name. And nobody knows, not even her knows what is in the bottom of that place, if there is a bottom for that thing. But just before she can deal with Lady Echo, Flopping finished the weapons, which look the cross between a weapon, a gun, and a crossbow. So yeah, it is a weird weapon. This stops obviously Toxin on her tracks, and she is no longer interested in Lady Echo, and she goes after the other two preys. The smoke is surrounding them, so she can do sneaky attacks, and she kind of grabs Floppin, but Floppin is very skillful. He's dealing with Toxin thanks to the traps that are around him, and the traps attacks obviously Toxin, and she's angry because yeah, this is ruining her fun, and she's trying to deal with Floppin. Luckily, Evangeline is such a good markswoman, that she could damage Toxin, release Floppin, because yeah, thanks to damage, Toxin released Floppin, and instead of just betraying, instead of continuing alongside with Toxin, Lady Echo grabbed her leg so she cannot escape, and Floppin took the opportunity to throw her to the freaking well, and I celebrate like a madman in that moment, because yes, since the first moment I hear her speak and hear her do whatever she wanted, I hated the bitch that was Toxin. I genuinely hate her. So I was so happy with somebody dealt with this freaking bitch. Unfortunately, Toxin was not done, and she released kind of energy towards whatever. I don't know if she wanted to hit Evangeline or if she wanted to hit anybody. And this hit obviously Evangeline. And this is when the episode ends. with a very damaged Evangeline. And my god, that's a terrible cliffhanger. Because come on, Evangeline has to be fine. Please, Evangeline, be fine. Because again, it's one of my favorite characters. Yes, we have dealt with the kind of dead but not dead of Pompon several times. Almost in every season, if I'm not mistaken. But now we're seeing this. We're seeing Evangeline. Come on. You cannot kill off Evangeline. Especially when she's pregnant, but I'm afraid for the words you said in the commentary that yeah, the phone is over. And yes, I kind of see that phone being over. I mean, seriously. And not only that, Toxin is such a freaking bitch that it's not just an arrow that do damage. No, it's a torturing arrow or energy or whatever you want to call it. Because yes, she's dealing damage and torturing poor Evangeline in the last few seconds of the show. Of course, we saw that, well, Flopping saw the damage to her mom, but we saw that Eleli and, of course, Pompon felt that attack towards Evangeline. So that makes it a lot worse. Because the last time we saw that is when Pompon died, but not actually die. In the first season with Yurbo. So yeah, it is genuinely terrifying, the thought that perhaps Evangeline will die. I don't want to think about that because again, Evangeline is one of my favorite characters. So yeah, this torturous. This episode is torture for me. Yes, we saw something I forgot, concentrating so much into this scene, something I forgot to mention that actually Datua saw the disguise of this chameleon when they were trying to reveal, or she was trying to reveal the true plans of Oropo. So yeah, it is interesting that yeah, she stood through the freaking disguise. I don't know if the rest of the guys are going to see that or they are going to attack Datua. But it's going to be a very interesting next episode for, obviously, what is going to happen to Evangeline, what is going to happen with Lady Echo, because again, she kind of saw the real attitude of Toxin. Well, I hope Toxin is being tortured to death, obviously. And we're going to see, hopefully, what is going to happen with Pompon, with Golter, with the rest. So yeah, we're very close to the ending of this season. We're so close. But still, this show does this to me. Come on, the torturous journey of our heroes. Anyway, yeah, I think I exhausted the topic of this episode. A very interesting one, and I know I said this a lot, but come on. The entire series is interesting. And a very dark episode, genuinely dark episode that we have in our hands here. So yeah, that's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoy it, and well, as always, thank you for your attention and see you on the next one. Bye. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video, and yes, thank you so much for your attention, guys. And as always, if you want to leave a comment, that will help me a lot more. If you want to give me a like, that will help me even more to get on the top of the recommendation for YouTube. And if you want to share this video, that will help me even more. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.